Hi there. We're in day 127 of our Through the New Testament in 1 year. We're starting the last chapter of Luke today at chapter 24. It'll take a couple of days to get to it. This is a good part. This is the part we've all been waiting for. So, the resurrection. But on the first day of the week, at early dawn, which was Sunday, they went to the tomb, taking the spices they had prepared, and they found the stone rolled away from the tomb. But when they went in, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. While they were perplexed about this, behold, two men stood by them in dazzling apparel. And as they were frightened and bowed their faces to the ground, the men said to them, "Why do you seek the living among the dead? He is not here, but has risen." Right? Out of the mouth of angels, right? Remember how he told you while he was still in Galilee that the Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men and be crucified, and on the third day rise. And they remembered his words. And returning from the tomb, they told all these things to the 11 and to all the rest. Right? And I remember there was like probably 130 disciples there with the now 11 apostles. Now it was Mary Magdalene and Joanna and Mary, the mother of James, and the other women with them who told these things to the apostles. But these words seemed an idle tale, and they did not believe them. Can you believe that? But Peter rose and ran to the tomb. Stooping to look in, he saw the linen clothes by themselves and went home marveling at what had happened. Right. On the road to Emmaus. And this is the only one that this particular story is in. But like I say, you put them all together and you have the complete story. Right. That very day, two of them were going to a village named Emmaus, about 7 miles from Jerusalem. And they were talking with each other about all these things that had happened. While they were talking and discussing together, Jesus himself drew near and went with them. But their eyes were kept from recognizing them, and he said to them, "What is this conversation that you are holding with each other as you walk?" And they stood still, looking sad. Then one of them, named Cleopas, answered him, "Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who does not know the things that have happened there in these days?" And he said to them, "What things?" And he said to them, "Concerning Jesus of Nazareth, the man who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how our chief priests and rulers delivered him up to be condemned to death and crucified him. But we had hoped that he was the one to redeem Israel. Yes, and besides all this, it is now the third day since these things happened. Moreover, some women of our company amazed us. They were at the tomb early this morning." So these would have been two of the 125 or so disciples that were with him, right? They were at the tomb early in the morning, and when they did not find his body, they came back saying that they had seen a vision of angels who had said that he was alive. Some of those who were with us went to the tomb and found it just as the women had said, but him they did not see. And he said to them, "O foolish ones, and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken, was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory?" And beginning with Moses and all of the prophets, he interpreted to them all of the scriptures, the things concerning himself. Wouldn't you have loved to have been in on that conversation? So they drew near to the village in which they were going. He acted as if he were going further, but they urged him strongly, saying, "Stay with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is now far spent." So he went in to stay with them. When he was at a table with them, he took the bread and blessed and broke it and gave it to them, and their eyes were opened, and they recognized him. And he vanished from their sight. They said to one another, "Did not our hearts burn within us while he talked to us on the road, while he opened to us the scriptures?" And they rose that same hour and returned to Jerusalem, and they found the 11 apostles who were with them gathered together, saying, "The Lord has risen indeed and has appeared to Simon." Then they told what had happened on the road, and now he was known to them in the breaking of the bread. Right. So, found out late in the evening, they would run back to Jerusalem and tell the rest of the disciples, right? Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, mark that complete. He's alive. He's out. He's in public. Tomorrow we'll finish it. Finally, tomorrow he appears to his disciples, and then the ascension. Right? And then that'll be the end of Luke. So, there you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. That's my favorite part of the Bible, right? Jesus rose from the dead in all his glory, right? Good stuff. So, there you go. Catch up on any you may have missed. You don't want to miss any other story. And tomorrow we'll finish the book of Luke, and then we'll start John, right? The big one, and we'll do the gospel all over again. So, and we'll get the complete story. So, tune for that. Give us a like if you think about it. But tomorrow we'll continue. See you then.